Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video today I'm gonna be vlogging on the clinical orientation for medicine course in Hospital Sungai Buloh under MAHSA University. Actually, prior to our orientation, well, they call it orientation, we had 4 weeks exposure towards clinical medicine. We were exposed to surgery, ONG, pediatrics, and also internal medicine. So there was 1 week for each. However, today they decided to put the orientation, just like a short ceremony for about like 2-3 hours in Hospital Sungai Buloh. Actually, I guess many students aren't gonna come. I mean, to be honest, many students aren't gonna come, and they told us that if we don't go, we will be deducted 15% from our attendance, our posting attendance. I don't know which posting. So I decided to go and see. I mean, clinical year, why not just go? However, I've been trying to book a Grab for the past 30 minutes, and they keep telling me to hang tight, and I don't know, can I even make it? I actually thought that I could take the bus, but then, I'm late. And I'm kind of scared to go to the MRT alone because I don't know if there'll be people there, and then I don't know who I'm waiting with. I'm a bit scared. So if I were to take the bus, I would get down somewhere near the MRT. There's a bridge and I have to go up on the bridge, and last time I took it, it was during the morning and there were a lot of people, but not many people take the bridge. So I'm a bit scared to actually take the bridge and go there. Another thing is it's so jammed. Can you see? You see the cars? Yeah. So that's going to the hospital and it's so jammed. So I guess that's why the Grab is not accepting my request. So I hope they will accept, because now it's already 8:45 and the event supposedly starts at 9:30, but I think it'll start a bit late. But it starts at 9:30, so hopefully I will reach there soon. Okay, update. I finally got, after 6 times trying, I finally got a Grab. So the driver is making a stop first. He'll be here in 10 minutes. I finally got a Grab. I'm gonna go to the hospital. So I reached the place. I'm actually 15 minutes early, and ahead of me I see some students here who are actually from my class. So I guess there's a lot of students who are coming actually. Yeah, I'm not late. I'm standing outside the auditorium now. It turns out the attendance thing is for real, you see? Okay. Entering now.
I took over as the 3rd Dean in 2014, and this is my 5th year now. And I can tell you it is no easy task to manage a faculty, but thanks to the cooperation of everyone, from the top management to the academic staff, to the non-academic staff, and actually to the students who play their part, we have managed to make a success of the faculty. So I would like to first of all inform and remind the students that your clinical training starts from year 3. You have already been exposed to the foundations of the basic sciences, and now you will appreciate, when you see patients in the ward, how that knowledge will help you to crystallize your thoughts, and employ critical thinking towards coming to a differential diagnosis and a provisional diagnosis and working out a plan of management. It is actually a tremendous task ahead of you because medicine is so vast. Knowledge is always increasing in leaps and bounds every year in every field of medicine. And you are an MBBS trainee and soon to be graduate at the end of another 3 years. So in these 3 years, you need to learn the basics very soundly so that you can use your basic knowledge and principles to further expand your knowledge as you continue to work. As often said by everyone, medicine is lifelong education. You will study and learn till the day you stop practice. Even after that, you will continue to learn. All right? So it is really lifelong education. You cannot stop it. All right? Once you have come into this field, for the sake of the patient, who you want to ensure remains safe in your care and recovers in your care, and is treated with compassion and humanity, you will do the best possible in your education. For all the students who are here, especially the Malaysian students, you must remember at the end of these 5 years, you will graduate, be convocated, and then you will register with the Malaysian Medical Council for provisional registration, and then you will apply to the Ministry of Health for housemanship. It may take a period of time before you get a houseman post, 6 months to 9 months to maybe a year, depending on the situation. And then you may become a houseman in one of these hospitals, including you may become a houseman in Sungai Buloh. So at that time, you want the MAHSA graduate to be known as a competent graduate, as a graduate that is full of compassion for the patient, that has a good attitude, and that can work hard without consideration of time or day. Now to do that, you must start now. As a medical student, you must comply with all the requirements. To all the non-Malaysians, you must understand that housemanship is not provided in Malaysian hospitals for the foreign students. You have to go back to your own countries and sit for various examinations that may be imposed by your own countries to start work wherever that you want. Of course, you can go throughout the world, wherever countries permit the MAHSA graduate to practice. Right? So there are many countries where the MAHSA graduate is working. We have already produced 5 batches. We have more than 700 plus graduates that are working, and a lot of them have shown very good performance. Some of them are already halfway or 3/4 of the way through their specialty training. So they will become specialists very soon. So they will be testament to the MAHSA graduate. So we want you to go out into the world full of confidence that you are a MAHSA graduate, you have been trained well, and you will do well.
We have to face facts, correct? What are the stark realities in this country? Only 15% of housemen finish their housemanship within 24 months. That is the reality. That means, many years ago, when I was sitting for my Part 2 exam, I went for a Part 2 preparatory course in Hammersmith Hospital. And there were about 200 people who attended that course. And the specialist registrar who ran that course, the first thing he said in the morning is, "Welcome, We have 200 registrants. 80 of you are re-invited in 6 months' time. Because that used to be the failure rate. Okay? So they said, you can come back. We accept people who want to sit for a second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. You have to accept you have to face realities if you want to be successful. Okay? So you have to know how bad it is out there. 15% of Malaysian doctors complete their housemanship within 2 years. The rest get extended. 25% of Malaysian housemen drop out. Okay? Wherever you go around the world, you seem to be facing the same problem: stress, burnout, all sorts of things. Okay? So you have to prepare yourself to face that reality. So make a promise to yourself that you will make these 3 years count. It will just go, I'm telling you, you close your eyes and you open your eyes, you will be in year 5. And you close it again and open again, you will be a houseman. Don't think that, it looks like as though year 3, long way to go, right? I'm telling you, it's not very long. Okay? So, you need to really face the reality of what is happening here. You have to commit yourself. Forget about whatever has happened in the past. The 2 years are over. However you got here, whether you went for remedial or you went for Viva, or you passed or you got a distinction, or you had to do the supplementary exam and then you came here. Now you are all equal. Because all of you have passed the first professional exam. I'm not going to talk about what has happened in the past. The past is the past. We cannot go back to the past. No point. It's a waste of time. But the past teaches you lessons that you can use so that you are never in that situation again in the future. That is why you need the past. That is why history is important. Okay? Because inevitably you will find that in life history repeats itself again and again and again, but we fail to learn the lessons. And because we fail to learn the lessons, the lesson has to be repeated again and again and again. Okay? For those of you who are Buddhists, you understand what I mean. So this is a 3-year clinical program. It is largely hospital-based. You will also be going to community clinics or the clinic kesehatans. The 2 major hospitals that you will use in this posting is Hospital Sungai Buloh this year and then Hospital Kuala Lumpur in year 4 and year 5. Okay? This is a crowded hospital. Okay? Right? There are at least 3 other medical schools that use this facility. And next year when you go to Hospital Kuala Lumpur, it is even worse. Okay? It's a big hospital, but it is a hospital that is bursting at its seams. Okay, it's the largest hospital in Asia, in case you didn't know. Okay? But you can work in Hospital Kuala Lumpur and not know another doctor who works there. I know because I worked there before. Right? Because you never met this doctor in your life until you go out somewhere for a dinner or something and then you talk to them, hey, where are you working? Hospital Kuala Lumpur? You really? Hospital Kuala Lumpur? Oh God, I also worked there. But you never met him. The first time they asked me to see a referral in the medical unit in Hospital Kuala Lumpur, I lost my way because I didn't know how to go to the medical ward because I was working in obstetrics and you know that maternity hospital is a separate block altogether. So they go and see the patient in the medical unit. Didn't know how to go there. Luckily nothing happened to the patient. Alright, anyway, 3 years, it's a clinical program, okay? And it is hospital and community clinic based. I'm going through the whole phase 2 program with you. So this year you have finished the introduction to clinical medicine, orthopedics, primary care medicine, psychiatry. You get to do your electives. You have medical jurisprudence, ethics, and the personal and professional development program. You have the patient safety project, to which you will be introduced this year, and you have to undertake a project next year. You have to complete the World Medical Association Ethics Program, which is available online. Nobody will teach you how to do it. You have to navigate it yourself, do it on your own. And then you have to get through the AHA BLS that is usually done in year 5. Okay? So that's your year 4. Year 5, medicine, surgery, obstetrics, gynecology, pediatrics, orthopedics, psychiatry, And if you haven't completed your World Medical Ethics program, you have to finish it in year 5 on your own. Usually the BLS is done in year 5. The reason why we do the BLS in year 5 is so that you actually graduate with the AHA certificate, which is actually valid for 2 years. If you did it in year 3, then by the time you come to year 5, it's already invalid because 2 years are based. You have to go and do it again. Alright, so that's the reason why it's done in year 5, so that when you're certified, you have 2 years before you go back to your home countries or wherever you're working and you get recertified again. So in year 3, all your postings are about 8 weeks long. In year 4, it's about 6 weeks long, and in year 5, again, it is 8 weeks long. You have 2 types of assessment. Actually, for year 3, you don't have to worry about a professional exam, but you have your end of posting exams. But the professional is there in year 5 as well. So these are the assessment tools that we use. Generally, in year 3, you will have single best answer, OSCE, and a clinical case, which could be a long case always, and there may be short cases in some disciplines as well. We encourage all the departments to do short cases. Your exams follow the same format. 30% of your marks come from continuous assessment, 35% come from your performance in the written portion. So for your end of posting, that is usually a single best answer, though some departments also use MEQs, SEQs and things like that. 35% comes from OSCE and your clinical. You must pass all your postings to move to year 4. You have to pass everything. Do you understand? A pass is a cumulative score of 50%. But you have to pass your clinical portion and your theory separately. One cannot compensate for the other. Okay? So if you get 50, but actually you've already failed your clinical, you will still have failed your end of posting. Do you understand? You have 2 attempts to remedy your result twice. You can remedy your result twice. If you fail once, right, you will be given a remedial when you're in the next posting. If you fail that remedial, you have an opportunity to repeat the posting at the end of the year. If you fail the repeat as well, then you have the pleasure of remaining in Sungai Buloh Hospital for another year, which is a good thing because KL is much more unfriendly. This is a much friendlier place, and you get to see me as well because I don't go and teach HKL. Okay? So in the past, some of your seniors said they didn't understand the previous slide. Complaint. Feedback. That's what feedback is, right? So I added another slide. Pass all blocks in one attempt, you can go to year 4. You fail one posting, you go for redemption. You pass redemption, you go to year 4. You fail one posting, you go for redemption. You fail redemption, you go for remedial. You pass remedial, you go to year 4. You fail one posting, you go for redemption. You fail the redemption, you go for remedial. You fail the remedial, you repeat year 3. If you fail more than one posting, whatever pattern, you repeat year 3. You got this thing called a case portfolio. This will be examined in your final professional exam. You have to present a portfolio of 10 cases. Okay? By the time you come for your final professional exam, you will be presenting this portfolio to us in a digital format. And that digital format will be run through the Turn It In program. And if there is evidence of plagiarism, you will, at the least, your portfolio will be given a mark of 0, and you may face disciplinary action for plagiarism. So a record of your learning experiences in phase 2, 10 cases must be written up, 2 each from medicine, surgery, obstetrics and gynecology and orthopedics. The remaining 2 may be from psychiatry, primary care medicine, pediatrics. It contributes to the continuous assessment of the final professional exam. And your case portfolio must also show that you have completed the World Medical Association Ethics module. You must have your completion of your BLS. You must have a certificate of completion of the patient safety project. And then if you have undertaken any other work on your own, for example, some of you may have volunteered on medical camps, either within MAHSA or with any other organization, all that will be given some credit. Now, you are expected to be reflective in the way you write your portfolio. So it shouldn't be just like, my patient is a 25-year-old, blah, 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 I came in with a, we don't want that, right? We want you to be able to reflect and think like a doctor, okay? So you have to start practicing your portfolio from today, or when you start on Monday, right? It's probably not going to be very good when you begin, but if you keep doing it, right, you will be good. How to become good at the portfolio or at anything in medical school? Practice lah. There are several themes that we expect you to cover. These are the key clinical details: history, examination, diagnostic summary, problem list, differential diagnosis, management plan, and you must follow up the patient up to the point of discharge. Because this is not our teaching hospital, some of you may not be able to see the patient when the patient comes for follow-up to the clinic. Okay? So at least until the patient gets discharged, you must follow up. Okay? The presentation must be focused. You must write it in a very focused way, not just a mere narration of facts. You know, on day 2, I saw the patient was allowed orally. Day 3, catheter was taken out. Day 4, went home. No, we don't want like that. Huh? We want you to write it in a way that shows you understand what is going on. All right? And when you discuss the case, that you must show that you are correlating it with the basic sciences. Okay? All right? You must analyze the management in relation to best clinical practice, which means you need to refer to current textbooks, you need to refer to the journals, and at least refer to the clinical practice guidelines, Malaysian as well as international. There are lots of Malaysian clinical practice guidelines, but some of the cases may not be covered. Okay? So for example, if you're obstetrics and gynecology, then you have an extensive number of clinical practice guidelines on the Royal College website. They are called the Green Top Guidelines. Okay, they are free. Okay, anybody can download them. All right, and they also have this thing called scientific impact papers on the Royal College of Obstetrician and Gynecology website. They are free. Kementerian Kesihatan has a KKM My Health Portal website. Go and look at that. That's a good website. Okay, right? NHS Choices is another good website. Okay, there's also a website called patient.co.uk. Go and look at those websites. All right, there are numerous websites, but you need to begin to read from those areas. Ethical, social. For example, patient is admitted for placenta previa. That in some cases means that the patient will be admitted for a prolonged period of time in hospital. What are the social issues if she has a family to take care of? Right? It's not enough to just say that, to talk about management in hospital, but who's taking care of the other children at home? You have to think about those things, right? And if your portfolio covers things like that, to me, that would mean that you should be given more marks. Reflection, all right, on how well they interacted with the patient. You must reflect all the time. Okay? How did it go today? Was my clocking good? Was my clocking bad? What could I have done better? What couldn't I? What did I do well? What could I have done better next time? Okay? You have to build that little piece of reflection into everything that you do. Because that's the only way you will be able to decide whether what you're doing is enough or whether you need to improve. And there's always room for improvement for all of us. And you have to have appropriate referencing. And we use for the purpose of the portfolio, we recommend that you use the Harvard system, which I think you have been introduced, which has been introduced to you in year 2. So we expect you to use that referencing system. So your first page should be the clinical case portfolio, the name of your name, your BMS number presented for the final exam. That's more important when you're going for your professional exam. All right. All the cases must be typed. They must be single space times Roman 12. All cases must be in the English language. Quite obvious, I think. Your name, matriculation number, date of clerking, and module must be on the first page of each case. Use A4 paper. Okay. And case write-ups must be done in the portfolio format from today. So all your case write-ups must be in the portfolio format, so that you begin to practice from now. Alright? So that in year 5, you don't have to worry so much when you finally put your 10 cases together, because you had already written the cases in that format in year 3 and year 4. Now we expect the portfolio not to exceed 7 pages. Okay? So 3 pages for the clinical bits and 4 pages for the discussion. The references are separate. No need to reference 20 or 25 papers lah. You don't exceed about 4 to 5 papers, and choose recent papers. Use initials for patient identity. You can use accepted abbreviations. Alright? Not LOL and all that lah. The case and discussion may be presented in the form of a clinical presentation. You can use diagrams, you can use tables, use proper referencing systems. I said use the Harvard referencing system. Cannot exceed the page count. If you do not follow the rules, marks will be taken away. So if you put 9-page write-up, you minus marks lah. And you have to make sure that there are portfolio discussions in your timetable from year 3. So if it is not done, remind your coordinator. This is how marks are allotted. Alright? For your professional exam. However well or however badly you do in your year 3 and year 4, it is not included in year 5. Okay? Year 3 marks are used to allow you to go to year 4. Year 4 marks are allowed to go for you to go to year 5. Continuous assessment in year 5 will depend on your performance in year 5 and the portfolio. 15% each. Alright? Theory 35%, clinical 35%. Again, you must pass the theory and clinical separately. Your aggregate mark must be 50%. And your continuous assessment will not be added to improve your theory marks. Okay? It is just improves your grade finally. So year 3 is about what you ever wanted to be. This is ground zero lah, and you have 3 years to make of it what you will. Okay? It is here that you need to hone the basis of your skills to become that superb doctor, right? All of you want to be that superb doctor, right? Okay, so this is the chance. You start now. More than that, and more importantly, this is the time that you put into place the values that not just make you a good doctor, but make you a good human. Okay? Right? So it's very important that you think about these two things. Right?
Hi guys, so that was all for our orientation, and I feel orientated. So what we actually do during our first 4 weeks of ICM. ICM stands for Introductory to Clinical Medicine or Introduction to Clinical Medicine. And so we are divided into 4 groups. So I was in group 3 and I started off with ONG posting. So in the beginning it was a bit shaky for us because even though we had the knowledge of history taking and basic physical examination, we never actually practiced it on like a real patient. We had simulated patients and we used to practice it on our friends. So, you know, although there is certain, when you want to take a patient's history, you want to ask them like what, you want to take their presenting complaint and the history of their presenting complaint. So there are certain ways how to take it, and although we know, you know, it's different when you're actually put up with the real thing. And during these 4 weeks, we actually just practiced that. So for my second week, we were introduced into pediatrics, and honestly, I kind of like pediatrics. I'm not fond of kids, but I'm surprised. I actually preferred pediatrics among all the posting. And then for the third posting, we were posted to internal medicine. We saw patients who had dengue, who came down with the dengue fever. And then for our last posting, we were posted to surgery. And for surgery, I actually came across a lot of patients who had cancer. Most of the time it's like of the stomach. Some of them have many diseases, and they were actually there for optimization before they are transferred to another hospital or before they actually did their surgery. And overall, the experience was good. I mean, in the sense that before we actually started our real posting, it's good. They had this introductory to clinical medicine. But you see, going there every day, we know that disease happens, and I don't know for you, but for me, like, if you look around, everybody is healthy, right? But then you'll see that 1-2 person who is ill, and you know of the disease and you know of the cancer. But then maybe, like for me, I only came across a few. But then when going to the hospital and seeing the patients there, it kind of sad. It makes me a bit sad. And I guess you have to be immune to it, right? I hope next week will be good though. My first posting will be ONG. I'm kind of nervous, but I look forward to it. It'll be good. So thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos, and I post videos every Sunday. So I'll see you next week. Bye.